Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of the ITK Soccer Show. It is the 16th of September at your earliest listening point. I am Neil Marshall, joined as always by Dan.
Hello.
And John.
Hello.
O in parentheses for one and Carol at the end for both. So we've got a whole host of stuff to talk about today, including all the Premier League results. We're going to preview the Champions League taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday night. We've got League of Ireland. We've got some La Liga, including all our awards. I believe we also have some championship stuff to talk about as well. I presume Dan won't talk about Leeds. Sure, haha, what's new? Yeah, no? Okay, so we'll start at the back and walk our way all the way to Monday night. I just finished watching the Hull and West Ham game and it was spectacular, but we will start off with Saturday's results. The opening game was Arsenal drawing at home to Manchester City in what was basically tipped as the game of the weekend in terms of bigger teams. Guys,
Probably was the game of the weekend as well.
Well, what did you take out of it?
Good game.
It was a good game. Yeah.
I thought it'd be 3-3 last week, so it wasn't actually. It could have easily been 5-5.
Yeah,
Easily.
It
definitely.
was a weak City team, though. They were out there centre midfield.
What happened? Yeah, I didn't even know he was out.
I think he only got back on like the Friday or Thursday.
Does he seem? Has he played this year?
Yeah, he has. He's actually.
Does he seem interested? Do you get that as well?
I don't know. I don't think
After his whole birthday cake fiasco, you know.
I think he becomes interested closer towards the end of the season, generally, when they need him a bit more. But like City have been.
They missed. I thought Lampard was just.
Yeah, Lampard was. It was kind of
Nowhere.
sad to see. Like, first you see him in a City jersey, like that's
Wilshere probably had his best game for Arsenal, probably a long time, and like.
I was gonna say I'd have a decent game if Frank Lampard was marking me, but that's not true.
But it was just. It was just like Ramsey and Wilshere. They were just flying past him. He was just like. Poor guy lost out in sea or something, didn't he?
Because I was live tweeting, like I said I would.
Oh, were you?
He was. Yeah. He did a really good job as well.
And,
at ITK Soccer Show, is that right?
That's the one.
And there was a stage where he took a bit of a dive in the first half, and I was like, the most overrated Englishman takes a bit of a dive there.
I thought you were talking about Wilshere.
I was Wilshere when he took a dive.
Oh,
and then Wilshere scored, and I was like, the most overrated Englishman's got quite a nice finish there.
Yeah, no, it was a nice goal he got. But Arsenal should have been 1-up though with Welbeck.
Yeah, he was unlucky there.
I thought he did well.
I celebrated a bit there. I was like, had a boy
I thought
there.
he did well.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought he kind of was Arsenal were kind of missing a bit. Someone who kind of running behind, kind of work really hard up front, just have a little menace up front.
Yeah,
it's kind of like I know he's not going to get you many goals, but I think what he can kind of. I think there's so many goals in that team anyway. I think it's just someone who can maybe stretch a defense more, or maybe.
But you can say that about most teams, and generally it's not until they buy a centre forward that gets most of them that they're.
Yeah, well, Giroud, like for example, like he's an alright player. He's good movement, but he's good first touch.
He's
so slow that he won't run in behind, and if he does, a defender can catch him. Well, Welbeck is all about power and pace. To be fair, you'd probably say that there's his best attributes. He's good at it, but then if you take his finishing out, it's pretty piss poor.
Arsenal bottled it though.
They didn't.
I think they
did.
They a lot more chances than City.
We talked about it when we were giving our season preview that you thought, well, we all thought that the FA Cup would change things. When you think back, they were lucky to win the FA Cup. They went 2-0 down and almost threw that away. And then this match, that was their big moment. Like, if you think of every season, any team that pushes it, they have that huge moment. Like Liverpool last year beating Arsenal. The year before, do you remember Van Persie getting that free kick at the Etihad to win the match in like the 98th minute? Like, almost
for Man United against City. Yeah.
There's always these big moments, and that Sanchez goal looked to be it for Arsenal. And I was sitting there going, "Wow, this could be it." And then they left Di Michelis for the free header, and were very lucky to get away with a point.
So the whole thing is, though, Arsenal could have scored a few goals before that anyway. You know,
they could have.
Until Aguero scored, I thought literally Arsenal were well in control of that match.
I think they were
really
bossing
it.
I think City played this same way that they did against Liverpool, and they're like, let these guys have the ball and we'll catch them on the break. And I think Gibbs didn't play for Arsenal, and he was definitely missed. Cause
Monreal's not good.
Yeah, Navas caught Monreal asleep a couple
it
of times.
was terrible. Two poor goals Arsenal gave away, but I don't know. I think there's signs there for Arsenal that they can definitely
finish fourth.
They'll get their fourth. They know how to do that. But I think there is like, I'd be more worried about them if they were hammered 4-0.
Yeah,
you know, and like they did lose a lot last year, And like I thought that there was kind of more resilience about them, and I didn't think there was a bit of fear.
That could easily happen again this year. Like they had a really
Oh no,
good
it could.
run
It
in.
very easy could. I don't know. I think they're a little bit better equipped, but again, I still think the title's out of reach for
You
them.
can see the difference already in how much Sanchez cares and how little Ozil does.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Ozil.
Yeah,
He
no,
wasn't tracking it at all for the.
Like Wenger's come out in defence of him as well
You have
today.
to once he spent 42 million on.
Well, see, the whole thing is
He was never that sort of player. He's playing out in the left wing or whatever.
Oh, he's not. He's not a left wing. I don't know what he's doing out there. I suppose maybe.
Would you trust him to play behind Welbeck or in the Ramsey Wilshere role type thing?
That's where he turned into probably arguably the best number 10 in the world in 2012.
Yeah. I don't know. I always find these Real Madrid stats questionable. Like even the Di Maria one. We'll
Will-
get to
will
Di
you-
Maria
will you-
later.
will
But
you,
like,
you ask
obviously.
Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, who the best player he played
yeah,
behind was.
Ronaldo has a strap every
he
year.
refused to do the show.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
shocking.
so we can't. Unfortunately, we can't ask the
We'll
person.
talk-
No, but he said the guy he'd always have behind him to playing those passes was Ozil.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. You look at his assist record; it's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's incredible.
But like Ronaldo had two straps this year. We'll
since
talk about it
2014.
when we talk about Madrid. The one I think is most important. He's got man of the match in his first two matches for his new club.
Alonso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course, yeah. But we'll talk about Real Madrid and the mess that they put themselves into. But I think, yeah, he has to defend them, doesn't he? But he's not real.
Yeah,
he's not option to.
Just for me, I just think that Arsenal, and I was saying this on Saturday, that they, have gone against the philosophy of the club, started spending money last year. And let's be honest, they're just all they do is qualify for Champions League. Okay, they won their first trophy in 8.5 years, but that's all they do. So okay, what do you have to do? Maybe change the philosophies. They did that. They spent money. He's been a flop. We all said, especially Dan, maybe he'll come good this year. No signs of that happening. Compared him to Sanchez, just not as willing. So there's zero signs of that happening.
Well, you can even look at Ozil at the World Cup. He's probably Germany's poorest player.
Sure.
For the guy who started 1 to 11.
Sure.
You'd probably say, and I remember a lot of people actually going like, "How's this guy still getting to the game?" Because I remember people were calling for Goetz to play number 10 and maybe have Schürrle one wing and then Muller or Klose or something. They can mix it
They've
up or
got
whatever.
There's not a lot of
You know,
players who leave Real Madrid though and have a good career. Like Robin and Schneider are the two I could think of earlier when I was.
I wouldn't even say Schneider's. Well, I
Well,
guess
he
for
won
Anthony-
the-
He
won
won
the
Champions
treble,
League,
like.
won
I guess I'm
Champions
just jumping to Galatasaray, but no, going back to my point about Arsenal, with Welbeck, I just feel like it says it all that Arsene Wenger came out and mentioned that he wasn't, willing to buy him
Yeah.
if he was there that day.
I wonder what that was about. He said he'll explain it again. He said it was a very funny
Do you
story.
think he's just very protective of his squad? Like he's just like
I think Arsenal gets so much criticism and abuse. I think that he wants to protect them, and he goes, "I've got so much faith in you." Like I think Aaron Ramsey is actually the perfect example of that, because if you look at Ramsey, like me and you said this like last year, the season before last, like how Ramsey is even in the squad for Arsenal. He was nothing more than an utter liability. Like he was worse than Cleverley was last year with Man United, and he offered nothing, and then all of a sudden he's turned into, I think, the most complete midfielder probably in the league at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's incredible. He's definitely like
no, but
reclaimed his form from
maybe
last
that's
year.
what Wenger sees as the philosophy of going, I'm sticking with these guys because I know they're good enough. Maybe that, but that's a bit of a stupid
Hold on.
philosophy. But it's a
Remember,
bit of
like,
a
after,
stupid
like,
philosophy.
their
I don't
unbeaten
agree with it,
season,
but
he was like Wenger was raising up this ridiculous youth team,
Yeah.
and like
Where is it?
Obviously, he sold
Gibbs,
Fabregas and he sold
Walcott.
Nasri, but they've never challenged for a league that I can think of. There was one year they were close enough.
2010-11.
Yeah,
That was the last good team they had. They ripped the team. Like if you look at the
That
team
was when Cesc was on absolute fire.
and Nasri
Yeah.
came to, if you look at the team this year and you compare it to the year those guys went, I can just give you some of the midfielders they had playing. They had Benayoun.
yeah.
They
well,
had
class.
Alex Song, who came on as a sub for West Ham. That's the level he's at the moment.
Yeah, but Alex Song
they
went
had
to
they
Barcelona,
didn't they
like,
had
yeah.
didn't they had Francis Coquelin. Have you even heard of him playing in midfield for half the thing? Arteta was a panic buy. Mertesacker was a panic buy on deadline day.
Benayoun.
They had Benayoun.
Yeah.
Yossi Benayoun.
They had Gervinho. They had Benayoun played.
When did Arsenal have Benayoun?
They had Rosicky, who
They
was
had him for they bought
very
him off
poor.
Chelsea.
They got him on loan from
Oh,
Chelsea.
yeah.
So, but I'm just, you compare some of those players now I've given you
Yeah.
to the team that they have now.
It's all about the bottle.
Yeah, but the problem is everyone else around them has improved.
Yeah, but
It's all
jeez.
ab- it's all
yeah,
about-
but Andre Santos left back.
But look, it's all about the
You
bottle.
know, like honestly,
That's
I
when
think
Van-
I think the team
That's
is
when Van Persie single-handedly got them
that's
into
the year Van Persie literally scored 31 goals
Yeah.
and pretty much
got his
they
dream
were
moving
9
on,
points behind Spurs, and they got back. If you go through the squad, it's no comparison how
Yeah, but
much
this
better
is
it
this is on paper, Dan. Like in practice, they had a chance to beat Man City comfortably at home, put them away, and they didn't. And they're also like,
but a draw was a fair result.
but you're coming out as well
Yeah,
saying that Wenger, is protecting his guys. He sticks with them and stuff like that.
No, that's just a theory. I'm not
How
not
does it
saying it's
protect
true.
Danny Welbeck to openly say in the media he wouldn't have bought him? In turn, that must be the worst thing a player
No,
can hear.
I think there's something else to that because he said it was a funny story. I don't see how that's a funny story. though.
Okay, well,
I don't know, but it was interesting anyway. We'll see at the end of the year, but it was a cracking match. We can all agree on that anyway. It was an
we
absolute
mentioned how
cracking
great
match.
Cesc was for them the last time that they potentially challenged for the title, and he showed his stuff again for Chelsea. Costa also got a hat-trick. This was 4-2 to Swansea. Attacking Chelsea looked as good as they should on paper. In
Defensive
contrast,
Chelsea didn't.
Yeah, but that's exactly the point, and let's talk about that. Chelsea have been leaking goals left, right, and centre. You think of the Everton match, and now we look at this Swansea game. What's the issue at the back here?
John Terry's
it
a
John
bit
Terry?
slow. I think that'd be the.
Yeah,
There's a few things but
I think because he's playing. He started most games with Matic and Cesc in the middle.
So the
And then
only
Oscar,
holding player,
Hazard and Shirley.
The only holding player you have
Matic.
is Matic.
So
And is he enough?
essentially it could be a 4-1-4-1, which I think me and you remember we made our teams at the start of the season. We all kind of agreed maybe Ramirez and Matic would sit in there.
Yeah.
Cesc would go number 10, and then maybe have Shirley and Hazard.
it's pretty much
Decide.
the same Chelsea team as last year, but they got rid of Torres or whoever
Torres, Eto'o, and Ba
for-
left, and they got
for Costa and Ramirez for Fabregas. Like it's a lot more attacking. But I
Yeah.
just don't get me wrong. Costa's goal scoring record is ridiculous. But
I think
I didn't see any of the goals before.
There were
and I was like,
there were
there was a Dirk
tap
Cow
ins.
hat trick. Like
It was a Dirk Cow hat trick, but to be fair to him though, he's
ridiculous.
kind of scored every goal possible
He
so
scored
far.
more. He scored more
He's-
goals than
Torres scored.
Suarez
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time last year.
But the thing about Costa's goals really is like, I don't know, it proves that he is a out and out goal scorer.
Is he just
and
someone to
n-
finish the chances that Chelsea created last
He was
year?
never very pretty. Like if
Yeah.
you watch his highlights,
he's
Oh,
an ugly
he's
man.
he's an absolute arsehole. Do
There
you see
was-
some of the stuff he does on the pitch? Like he's getting in fights most.
Oh
of the
no,
time.
he's a madman. He is.
in terms
By
of his
December,
finishing,
people come around to him. I'd say he'll be getting booked a lot more.
No, he
Because
will.
he's
But
the new boy
the
or
thing
whatever.
is though with Costa though, he's like anyone who could have seen him last
I
18
know.
months could have known that Chelsea.
Remember
would
when
be
Liverpool
just the
bid for
perfect
him
team.
when we thought Suarez was going to Arsenal?
Tell you,
You
you
were
would
like-
have been doing pretty well out of that.
Well, we had Suarez and we had our best season ever. So
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think
questionable.
I wouldn't have
Long
changed.
term, well, actually, I suppose he got 70 odd million for him.
Yeah.
Probably work out even.
Crystal Palace and Burnley had a stinker. I didn't even see any highlights of this. Is there anything of note?
The only thing of note is on the Super 6 for Sky Sports, I predicted this match would be 0-0, and it was.
And
And
how
there was a
many
missed
other-
penalty. There was a missed penalty by Arfield.
How many others of the Super Six did you get?
I got 2 actually, and I was 1 away from getting another one. I got
So you got to.
I got Palace 0-0. I thought it'd be 1-1 with Stoke and Leicester. That was 1-0, and I got 2-0 Everton against West Brom. And I got 2. I went for 2-1 Spurs, but it was 2-2.
Actually, Soccer
So it was
Saturday
actually
was
close enough.
ridiculous this week. There was like 3 goals in the first minute of like
Yeah, it
a
was
couple of
good.
matches. I was
Yeah.
like, this is. I hope it continues like this. It didn't. It got very boring very quickly.
Southampton trounced Newcastle at home, as in Southampton at home.
Jamie
The-
Carragher slated Newcastle today.
I heard he
Monday
did.
night.
Tell, tell me what is the crack with Newcastle?
They don't give a fuck. Pardon my French.
They'll go down. Well, Ironic French, isn't it?
They
Because
will.
that's all they
Well,
have.
David Moyes is rumoured with the job. They wouldn't.
I'd take Moyes.
No, everyone would. But
course you take Moyes.
wouldn't take that job.
No, I don't think
It's
he
a
would.
poison chalice. Like.
No,
Until
I
Vince
don't think-
McMahon comes in and buys a club, so
Yeah, that's what they're waiting for. That's what they're waiting for. No, I think Newcastle are in serious trouble. Like they've got a better team than most down there, but
Like Shane
It-
Long
like,
almost scored in the first 30 seconds.
like
No, Newcastle
attitude
fans-
is your first.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you are giving the other team a hell of a, like you could play Astro against 6 players better than you.
Yeah.
But if you try
Just
like
did.
ridiculously hard, yeah, but I don't think did you try hard though. There you go. So you know what I mean. So and like now Ashley's giving Pardew the dreaded vote of confidence. Like I think even though he's a fucking puppet, nothing more than that. I think Pardew will be the next manager to go. There's no way if there are 50,000 fans roaring
Do
at
you know who?
Ashley
Do you know who
and
could
Pardew.
get in? Who they could get in? Who might be getting sacked in the next few weeks?
Who?
Rafa Benitez.
Oh, come on.
Napoli aren't
to
doing very
Newcastle?
well. Rafa's not doing very well at Napoli, and the Napoli mobsters aren't very happy that Rafa took a
I'll
little
tell you,
holiday
if
to Liverpool
he'd want to get out of there
last week.
quick before they get a hold of him.
Did he take a holiday to Liverpool?
Yeah, during international he flew over. Like, he's got family here, but still, they don't appreciate that sort of
These
thing.
are fat.
Yeah, I'd take him as the assistant to Brenla. Get the defence and the attack going.
Oh, jeez, he'd be terrible.
What a team that would be. I don't know whether to shit or wind my watch. Stoke and Liverpool, Stoke and Leicester even, it was 1-0 to Leicester. Again, I didn't get to see highlights of this. Anything interesting?
Leicester played really well again.
Yeah,
Joa,
again.
Joa again.
Stoke beat Man City 2 weeks ago. Like, this season's nuts.
Yeah, I know.
It's already seemed
again.
pretty weird.
It's easier to, I suppose, in a way, to play against a City team who are going to come at you when you've got so much space. You can run in behind while Leicester will be organised and packed. When Stoke have it's the onus on them. But again,
Leicester
to be
United
fair,
will beat this game on
Leicester will stay up if they keep. Even if results dip for Leicester, if they keep playing to this level, they will be absolutely fine.
There's a
Sure.
lot worse teams. West Brom and
Well,
Newcastle
we
for one,
we
like,
all think predicted West Brom, didn't we, to go?
Yeah, I predicted Aston Villa.
So did I.
Go on, Neil.
We'll get there.
We're coming
In a
up to it.
result that would have looked poor for Tottenham, considering their first few games of the season until the defeat at home to Liverpool, 2-2 at Sunderland. This was a good game. Chadley scored again, didn't he?
In the first minute.
And then Adam Johnson scored a really good goal to equalise. Like, a minute
Adam
later.
Johnson's goal was fucking
It
outrageous.
was very good.
Yeah, good stuff. I've always had a soft spot for Adam Johnson. I remember
Yeah,
he
he's-
started ripping
he's
us apart last
he's-
year when we were holding on at the city,
Remember
at
that?
the
Anfield.
stadium. What the fucking Sunderland home ground?
Stadium of Light.
Stadium of Light. I remember, he was ripping us apart, and I was like, "Oh, Brendan, sign him up."
He's a typical Liverpool player you haven't bought, isn't he? No, he played for Leeds.
No, Jesus, did he?
Yeah,
did,
then
yeah.
he played in the Championship and City.
He
bought
played
him
at
for a shitload of
Middlesbrough,
money.
and then we had him on loan.
Apparently just lazy. He's
Dennis
not a day
Wise.
player, like, you know what I
Dennis-
mean? Like, it's like, wow, he's class.
Yeah,
And then you see him
yeah.
90 minutes, you're like, nah.
He was actually always all right with Man City. I always thought.
So did I.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was the worst player I'd ever
He
had.
was surrounded by good players, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, it does help.
West Brom losing 2-0 at home to Everton. McGeady didn't score.
No, he played well though. I think he had an assist,
I put Naismith in my fancy team.
and he missed an open goal. Yeah, he scored in every game this year apparently.
Just not going to climb up that table.
No,
That was my sneaky bit there. Like,
I put
Naismith.
I
No
put-
one will have him.
I put Duff in my team from Burnley, and he got me 8 points, and he's only 4.0. Telling you,
That is
That's-
incredible.
that's
I
what
had
it's about.
Sissoko on my bench. Neil.
Did you?
Ali Sissoko, that man.
That is,
He had a fantastic match. I thought he was great.
he actually didn't have. He had a better match than he ever did for Liverpool.
And if you put all of his performances for Liverpool, he probably edged it.
Sissoko wasn't that bad for Liverpool. He just offered nothing going forward.
I remember
He's pretty
I
solid,
remember
yeah.
he got forward one day and it was like
Yeah.
it was just like he was kind of not through on goal, but he had a chance to score or square it, and he just shot.
Didn't know
And
what
it
to
was
do with himself.
Just straight out of play.
Didn't Suarez set him up for a great goal once?
Did he ever score?
I think he
didn't
scored.
score.
He did score a goal.
He scored something against Stoke that was a shot cross on goal, but he took an outrageous shot. That was the closest.
Yeah, there's an amazing video that was put up on YouTube when he left, like his season highlights, and it's an incredible piece.
Didn't we make him in a big man team for FIFA?
Did we?
Remember we were wrecking our brains and we had a big man left back, Sissoko.
And we picked fucking Ali Sissoko. All right, let's get to it. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Liverpool losing 1-0. Paul Lambert having Bren's number one more time. Interesting stuff coming out of this was just Liverpool playing so many new guys for the first time. What was the number of people who hadn't played at Anfield before?
5.
5. So Markovic and Lallana were handed their first starts in what everybody is citing as the reason we lost, even though there's many facets to this. Sterling didn't.
Can
Obviously,
I ask a question?
preservation for Tuesday was taken into account, plus his
I think
international duties.
we definitely had enough quality on the pitch. Brendan
Yeah.
obviously thought to win it, but there was just nothing between. Like, no talking, no. Balotelli wasn't.
Balotelli
making the
wasn't
runs
not
that-
interested. He wasn't interested.
He wasn't. He's not.
No,
the sort
I
of
don't
player
think
to
it was
make
that he wasn't
runs,
interested because he never looked in a huff, and a lot of times when he doesn't get service, he gets in a huff.
No, but he just seemed to just stand there. He
No,
wasn't. He
like
seemed.
that, he doesn't make runs. He tried and got kicked at one stage, but he was coming for the ball a good bit. Like, I'm not going to be here every week, every time Liverpool don't get a result and argue for Balotelli.
No, well, I thought.
no one at Liverpool.
I
played
thought it
well.
was odd. Like, we'll preview the Champions League in a bit, but I know it's obviously a huge game. Obviously, Brendan wants to win that game and just get everyone go, because obviously, if they don't win, it's massive 3 points dropped or 2 points dropped possibly. On when are they playing? It was Wednesday.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, so if they're playing on the Tuesday, so then what like you still think Sterling should have just played him? Like, I don't know why he'd be tired after 4 games.
I'd
or to be
rather give
rested.
him.
Like,
The first half
No,
than
like,
the length
Exactly.
of the
Like,
second.
I don't see why he'd need to rest players to play Lombards who I've never even heard of, or whatever the hell they're called. And then you've got
One of the
people-
greatest Champions League stories of all time, but
But then you've got like these guys like Markovic. I think this is just me looking at it. I thought Markovic, he's fast. That's kind of about it. I think he's a bit of a bird brain. Coutinho looked all right.
Will match here.
Looked
No, I
all
think
right. Lallana didn't
Brendan-
look fit, and considering there were so many kind of circumstances like that, without Sturridge, without his direct runs and his fantastic movement that he has, if you give him a chance on his left foot, it's in the
But I
back of
think
the net.
that's the problem.
I thought you just got to play Sterling even for an hour. Now maybe he had a niggle. We don't know.
We
But
have,
I thought it was a bad move by
He
Rodgers.
played 180 minutes in like a week for England and probably trained non-stop in the classic things. And then he probably thought, I can't lose Sturridge and Sterling. And there was probably enough quality there to beat Aston Villa. It just didn't come together on the day.
It didn't come together.
Like
Senderos probably should have been sent off for a kick to Balotelli off the ball. They were kind of like roughing each other up for the first 20 minutes. The thing
Could have
about
been 3-0 though.
really?
Could have been these 2 or 3.
I don't know.
What?
I
Remember
don't remember this.
It could have
The
been
Vyman.
2-0, the Senderos header.
The Vyman effort and Senderos header.
The Senderos header, perhaps.
If we went 2-0, it would have been a different game.
I think that you would have come back after 2-0.
Yeah, but it was
like you did
1-0,
last year.
and they just sat back and did absolutely nothing.
Well,
And
both
Philly-
teams did nothing.
Liverpool had about 250 passes in the first 20 minutes.
Didn't Villa have like 50 passes in the first half an hour or something?
Yeah.
It was 75% possession. But
Yeah.
Liverpool only had one shot on target. Like they were dreadful.
Philly also hit the bar. But the main thing coming out of this, just on the Balotelli, before we move on to the Manchester United match, is I just feel Balotelli. I'm so worried about him with Brendan's philosophy, because I think playing with somebody like Sturridge who can make those runs, Balotelli will be great to provide an assist, or will be great to kind of get into space after the defense is somewhat penetrated. But I feel that he slows the play down when he gets the ball so much. Like if he comes deep and they pass to feet, I did not see anything that excited me from him in terms of like keeping the tempo up, which is basically our calling card.
We played that formation 3 times this season. We were lucky to beat Southampton, and we've lost the other 2 matches. The team can't play that.
What formation was it?
Just
4-3-3 or
4-5-1 or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah, it's the basically
diamond
the
that you
diamond.
look-
Yeah,
it doesn't work with Sturridge or Coutinho because there's too many marking them. Like Lallana did his best and made a bit of space here and there, but there
I
was
don't
never.
think he was fully fit though.
He wasn't. That's why he came off at 60.
But the idea of like when having Balotelli and Sturridge up front together, I think, as in like a la the Spurs game, would be a lot better. All right. Okay, so we'll move on to Sunday's game, which was United at home to QPR, and this is basically the game that everybody is still talking about.
United are gonna win the league.
Yeah, United are going to win the league. People are losing their minds. It's QPR. Let's just say that first
Yeah, well,
off.
to be fair, someone here in the panel did say QPR is a surprise package of the season.
By
Well, I
surprise
said
package,
Newcastle
I
would be
mean
the
they would
surprise
be-
package this season.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you.
Leicester prediction.
Thank you,
lads.
John.
Come on.
No, that's fair, Dan. That's fair. Yeah, no, this was just a
The first 20 minutes of this
Dominance.
match,
Man, United
Nothing
were
was-
terrible.
nothing
United
was
were
happening.
terrible first 20 minutes.
like they had player cam back for Di Maria, and I think he fucked up a good 4 times, which we all had a good laugh about. At the
did
time.
they?
Oh yeah, it was. But
Well,
it was a
QPR
lucky goal. Like
Player cam is back.
Yeah, for
it
Falcao,
was
Di
terrible.
Maria.
I remember who was that? Was it Neil Warner going absolutely mad on the sideline a couple of years ago? He was going absolutely mad, and the player cam turned to Neil Warner because he kept getting in fights with everyone and like jumping up and down and everything for Sheffield United. They
But,
put it on him for 15 minutes.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like,
excellent.
QPR were sat there. The problem is every team that's come to Old Trafford in the last 2 years has gone, well, to David Moyes and now. They've gone to attack. Harry Redknapp now just went to defend the whole time. They got a good free kick. Like, it was lucky that went in, but
It was a good delivery, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It was a-
meant.
it was a
And
fluke.
Yeah.
Like,
that
it
was
a
game
fluke.
over. Like they had De Gea fucked up at one chance, and Austin fluffed his one chance. To
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phillips missed an open goal. Or was that the one you're talking about?
I thought it was Austin, wasn't it?
Not Matty Phillips.
No?
I don't know. I mean, they had a good chance anyway. And they
But-
blew it. Like
Di Maria looked good after he scored his goal, but before that, I'm not too sure.
no one looked good though.
Herrera-
and Blind.
Yeah.
Herrera and Blind
Blind
looked
looked
all
very
right.
good.
In the
Yeah, no, he
midfield.
did. Herrera also scored. Rooney had a pretty good goal, and
I think that there's serious nervousness with Evans at the back.
Mata scored the second. Yeah, no, they played. They yeah, that we should talk about that. No more 3 at the back because of personnel issues," said Van Gaal. That was
But
his
that means
explanation.
if Smalling and Jones are back next week, possibly that he's reverting back to 3.
That is
That's
kind
what
of what he alluded
it
to.
seemed like
Yeah.
to me anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe Jones / Smalling, Evans,
Rojo
and
or
Blackett.
whoever it was, was quite nice. But QPR didn't offer anything. Like
they
I'd like
were-
to say Blind had a great game.
They
but
were.
They offered nothing.
QPR were awful. They were really. They didn't. They came there just like, see how long we can hang on, and then we'll just throw in the towel. They didn't even try.
Rio Ferdinand got an award at the start of the game.
For what?
I had no idea. I was
Being a prick.
I was down in the pub
I
watching
know.
it. Everyone who leaves leads.
No,
Okay.
he's a prick.
If you manager someday.
Yeah, he's a drug. No, that's Robbie Fowler or Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Any word on Fowler?
Hopefully not
Chelsea
getting the
goes.
job.
Well, I think
you
you're
know
out
who
of
you
your
know who
mind.
you know who is actually linked to it.
John Giles.
No, he used to did play for Leeds and he was a midfielder. He was at the World Cup 2014. He managed a team there.
Okay, who?
He's not managing them anymore.
Who?
He
Scolari.
did pretty well actually.
Who?
Alejandro Sabella.
Who? I mean, oh really?
Sabella, yeah.
Okay. Tonight's
That's
game.
the Argentina manager. by the way.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Tonight's
Not
game, because tonight's game was West Ham and Hull. It was 2-2. It was a fabuloso game. With Stuart Down in goal to bring West Ham level at 2-2.
I thought it was an own goal.
The first oh, it was. Sorry, I heard it was Stuart Down in goal. Then I saw the replay and I was like, it wasn't Stuart Down in goal. The other West Ham goal was scored by
Valencia.
Valencia.
It was
It
a
was
cracker.
incredible.
I didn't
he
see
had,
it.
he had a very good second half, and
He looks good. He's a big
yeah.
lad. He's better than Carroll, is he?
I'd
Are they
say
gonna
he
play the two
definitely
of them up
he has,
front?
he has a lot more to his game than
He's
Carroll.
more technique.
Oh, gotcha.
That's right.
Gotcha. So yeah,
West
no,
Ham will stay
that's-
up. Think they'll stay up?
I do, but I also see Sam going halfway through.
I don't think he. Well, if he goes halfway through, they won't stay up. But
They
if he
get the
does,
new stadium next year, did
them and Spurs looking for new ones or
he?
something.
No, Spurs.
Are they taking Leighton? Like, there's new the Olympic Stadium from
Yeah.
London.
Spurs have no stadium now.
They have no stadium for. Is it next season or the season after?
Yeah, something like that.
And where can they go? They can go to like
Wembley or
Wembley or Emirates or something.
Wembley, they're going to have to open up the facilities at Wembley for Spurs every week.
Well, Arsenal played their Champions League game in '99 in Wembley.
That's one game.
It wasn't one game.
Oh, played their Champions League games.
Yeah.
That's still Champions League.
I don't.
and
I
it's
don't.
Still
I
the
didn't
rich
understand- I
fans
didn't-
of London.
I didn't understand. It must have been just to accommodate the fans and try and get more money out of them or something. But it was a really weird one. Maybe they will go there. I don't know.
All right, so fast forwarding to next week, Man City and Chelsea taking place on Sunday is the game of the weekend. Next weekend, one would presume, and
Aguero versus that Chelsea defense will be interesting. And
that's
Costa
a really,
against the
really
team.
good point.
Yeah.
Is Company going to be back?
Is he injured?
He was, wasn't
Was he?
he? I believe so.
United Leicester also play that day on the Sunday, which will be I think will be an interesting game.
Yeah, definitely.
don't
That's,
think
It's at the Walkers Stadium
that's right.
or the King Power. It's called now. Yeah, that'd be maybe a lot of goals again. Who's at home? Chelsea, City will be at home, wouldn't they?
Yeah, City are at home.
City are at home. So
3-2 City.
just going back to 3-2 City, okay. So just going back to United there, talking about Leicester, we were joking about saying that United are going to win the title, but Van Gaal came out today and said he plans to get a title within the next 3 seasons. So he has no grand delusions about
Well,
doing it
he
this year.
kind of said it this year. Oh, I'd love to win one this year or the year
No,
after.
he said
or the year after.
he said you'll finish top 3 this year in the league next
It's
year.
still a bold statement, though,
It's an
isn't it?
outrageous statement.
Like,
But
how
everyone's
far-
dropped points.
To be fair, yeah, like we've all said, like Arsenal and Liverpool, they are definitely contenders, but at least for top 4. You know, like they will. They are good teams. How much further ahead are they than Man United? What, like 2 or 3 points?
Oh yeah,
It's only Chelsea who really
If,
gone.
if Chelsea win on Sunday, I'd just let Chelsea go off. I'd have said
I
It
would
could
have
be
to agree.
2005 revisited, couldn't it?
Cristiano Ronaldo returned to Man United. This whole chestnut again. What's happened?
He tweeted the other day saying he was actually celebrating with the match when I think Di Maria scored, and he had a big thumbs
That's
up.
'cause they're pals.
And he also said like, you know, I'm not happy, but that was taken out of context and stuff. But I don't know. I could see it. I could see it happening.
He gets asked the same questions all the time.
I could see. I don't think he was happy with the sales of Ozil, Di Maria, Alonso. I don't think he's happy with that. I just got that feeling. I thought he doesn't look to be happy.
Well, it all depends how Madrid do this year, but I wouldn't rule out the idea of him finishing his career at United.
I think he'll go back and finish it there.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. But it
Sure,
also
apparently the Falcao deal is done, apparently. But they just couldn't sign him for financial fair play. Like, apparently it's a 4-year deal, just almost.
But I don't know how they're able to get all these. Now I know they've got.
Well, Monaco need to sell.
They have a ridiculous amount of revenue in streams. We all know that. with
If they
Man
don't get,
United.
like, Champions League this
so
year...
United
sure,
would have broken financial fair play by getting Falcao.
Yeah, to sign him officially.
Okay,
yeah.
fine. All right.
But I would imagine that would be the case because I don't know where they can get all this money from to, like, Di Maria, your Falcao's, your.
Well, if Van Persie doesn't score a goal
Matas.
soon, I can't imagine he'll be there next season.
He was very poor last year as well.
Yeah.
Didn't have a, besides
He
his,
definitely needs a
besides
goal
his-
now.
his
He
header
was
at the
very
World
off
Cup.
the pace yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think Ronaldo will go back personally.
Well, it also depends on how United do. Like, if Van Gaal doesn't turn them around the way that he is, the fans are hoping that he will. Why would Ronaldo go there? He could definitely make big bucks somewhere else.
I think there's an emotional connection though as well. I think it'd be almost like his little child going back to Man United.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out.
If they do well, perhaps. Okay, so what's this Neil Redfern news?
Redfern is not getting the Leeds job.
Oh, okay.
Because he is, which is the correct thing. He's been put back to the youth development because he's our youth coach, and he's brought through like likes of Mowat and Cook, who are two best players on Saturday, and Byram, who's our left back, who is linked with a lot of Premier League teams. So he needs to go back and keep producing those players, because if it'd be like a Brian Kerr situation when he went to the Irish national team, all those young players just stopped. We didn't have any success at underage. Our underage tournaments were terrible since, and you can see the damage that's made in the last decade, and no one's come through. So I think put Redfern back down there, keep him a caretaker, put him back there, and Cellino came out and he says he wants an international coach, which would be interesting. So Sabella could get it
because
he has played for you.
I turned on the Leeds match on Saturday because Dan told me to. And
that's because Solomon Dakar was coming on.
Dakar was coming on, and then the Birmingham fans chanted, "Who do you think you are?" Which was disgraceful.
I thought it was
shocking. They have no respect for him. But I did tweet at the time that no Birmingham fans showed up, so they don't care. So why should I?
That's a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Mike Ashley
1-1 by the way.
Nice. Mike Ashley and Pardew. Did we talk about this?
We did.
Okay, that's fine. So what's this next thing here?
Yeah, I was told to put that in for one of our listeners. So Tom Lee's update: Bolton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Another clean sheet for Tom Lee's. There you go.
He was a prize winner this week. If you'd like to, just donate a bit of money, and we'll talk about whatever you want.
Who is this Tom Lee?
Tom Lee's.
Yeah,
Tom Lee Jones.
Who is Tom
Lee?
Lee?
He used to play for Leeds. He went to Sheffield Wednesday. And I know a Sheffield Wednesday fan, and he wants a Tom Lee's update on the.
Great in the fugitive.
Okay, so Tom Lee's isn't the Sheffield Wednesday fan.
No.
Who's the fan?
A guy called Alan.
Okay, Alan, you have won the prize this week.
For what?
What?
For what?
Getting the L mention. He got the before Nocton, before Shamus.
Shamu, as I call him.
Shamu.
Shamu.
He's by no means a Shamu.
Some whale.
He's what? Okay, moving on to go on. Do some championship results there. 1-1 for Leeds.
Grand. I didn't get any more championship results. There was a big result actually. Forest and Derby was on yesterday. It was a good match.
Okay.
Forest Assam Balanga. I think I got it right. There's Assam Balanga.
Mm-hmm.
Went 1-0 up, and then a late equaliser by who got the other one? Oh, your man.
Leon Best.
No.
Yes.
It wasn't him.
Was it Leon Best?
No. Oh, it was some Derby fella. So he scored last. It was a bit of a goal miss. I can't remember his name. I'll remember it by the end of the podcast.
Baxton got sent off.
Buxton.
And he was desperate to get sent off.
Like he did.
He tackled one guy and the ref blew for a free, and then he just tackled another guy. It was great.
Well, those two teams hate each other, and they had a massive tribute to Brian Clough as well before the match.
Best Leeds manager there ever was.
Yeah. Well, second to Hockaday.
Is he?
Hockaday outlasted Brian Clough, by the way. 66 days.
Yeah, but he took the job at the start of the summer. Doesn't really.
What?
Leeds had in the 70s. Leeds had two managers for 44 days, and two of the really the best managers of the 70s. Brian Clough, he won 3 European Cups or something.
Did Brian Clough really only last that long with Leeds?
44 days.
Wow.
Because he left us like second bottom, and
44 days.
And your man Jock Steen, who won a European Cup with Celtic, and then he went off to manage Scotland.
It was made into a great movie starring Martin Sheen.
Great
movie.
What?
Who?
Damned United.
You said starring Martin Sheen.
Yeah, the English one, not the American one.
Oh, yes. Is that his name too?
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know that. Okay, so moving on.
You thinking that the old lad?
Yeah.
The president from the West Wing.
That's Charlie Sheen.
Not Charlie.
Mr. Sheen?
Okay, so moving on to the League of Ireland results. In the FAI fourth round, third leg, quarter-final, Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk had a 0-0 draw in the EA Economy Sega Nintendo. What?
That's next week.
Why does it say 0-0?
Did they not win it tonight?
EA Sports Cup next week.
Oh.
If you read it.
But they had a 0-0 in the
They had it last week, and then they had the replay tonight, and the Rovers came at 2-1. Get in.
Shepherd scored.
Your friend Carl Shepherd with 2 goals, so thank you very much. It was the best present I had coming out of work literally coming in.
Do you always get presents? When
Do you,
leave
yeah,
work?
do you expect a present coming out of work every day?
Sometimes, yeah.
Tremendously
Sometimes
high standard.
sometimes I go home and get like a cheeseburger or Big Mac or something.
That's
That's,
the way
that's
you
my
said
present.
it. Imagine going home just going, I didn't get any good presents coming out of work today.
But that was a good one. So yeah, we went up to Dundalk and won, which we never went up there. 2-1. So be Rovers, Pats, and then there's 2 replays between Drogheda and Derry, who was Desmond 2-2, and Avondale United and Finn Harps was 1-1.
What about Desmond Tutu?
2-2. Drogheda Derry.
Oh, very good. Okay. So
Desmond.
that's all the League of Ireland, is
That's
it?
just not gonna
Yes,
catch
and
on.
the EA Sports Konami Nintendo Capcom Cup is next Saturday, and it's exact same venue again. So Rovers and Dock play 3 times in 7 days, and they've also got a league match in 2 weeks' time as well.
Oh, please share time.
So yeah, so that'll be interesting. So Rovers could actually dismantle Dundalk's season because Dundalk were going for the treble. So now Rovers are I think they've got the momentum in the cup, and they're going for 25 cups. Is a record cup. No
25
team in
cups.
Europe have won more cups than Rovers.
You see, that's a fallacy of a stat.
It's not.
It is a bit.
It is a bit.
Well,
It's
no.
like saying I've won more local pitch and putt tournaments than Tiger Woods has won Masters, kind of.
Yeah.
But no, not really.
That was a really good analogy. Okay,
No, it wasn't.
Okay, give us some of the Liga here. We've got Barcelona 2-0 against Athletic Bilbao. So Neymar scored. He's back. His back is fine.
Came on.
Did the
Came on.
job.
You got a lovely apology off your man who broke his back in a friendly.
Oh, that was very. I meant to actually mention that last week for Hero of the Week. Neymar was
happened?
excellent when he did it.
Yeah.
Zuniga, they played Colombia, I think, in
Oh, that's right.
in
They bet
in
Colombia.
a friendly, and Zuniga kind of came up to him, the guy who gave him the knee in the back, and Neymar literally was really took it like top notch. Just gave him a big hug and goes, "Yeah, it's grand." Like
Your
you know.
opinion on Neymar has changed an awful lot.
No, I'm still not keen on him, but it was he. To be
Lovely
fair,
fella though.
he comes across as all right, but you know, as a footballer, I think he's still a lot to prove, especially for Barca anyway.
So how did Barca line up? Is who did they? They had
It
Messi
was-
and Neymar at one stage up front again.
Yeah, it was Munir, the guy who's playing really well, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Lad. He made the Spanish squad the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, he's like they're I'll call him like the new thing now.
Was Suarez getting the team?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
No,
But, like
Jesus.
this guy, like so they went with Munir and Pedro off Messi. Messi was dropping really deep, so we can kind of see what's going to be like. He's actually, which I thought he would be. He dropped literally to a number 10, and the 2 lads are pretty much running way off him. So it looks like Luis Enrique seemed to kind of get the best out of them. So good win against Bilbao, 2-0.
Did
Neymar
you give him much
came
chance
on.
in Champions League?
Barca.
Yeah.
I think Suarez
So-
will actually make a huge
They're
difference.
always Barca are always going to be semi-final contenders regardless of the team. It's like, but I don't know. I think. Well, you never know. It depends. It's very early to say because a new manager, new structured team, new
Yeah.
massive
Can
signing.
anyone see past Bayern for the Champions League?
We'll talk. I'm dying to get to this. Just we've got one more La Liga result, which is Madrid losing again. What
great.
is happening?
No team has ever won the league after losing 2 of the first 3 matches.
Oh,
They've lost two matches in a row now against Sociedad last week and
Yep.
Atletico.
So-
Atletico have beaten them twice now in a month.
is this a? Oh, was
The
Atletico?
Super Cupper.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So was this a case where because Atletico have lost a lot of players now? They brought in Griezmann, right?
Griezmann.
Who else? Is Diego still there? He's probably not playing.
No, he was only on loan.
Okay, who else did
They
Atletico
lost.
bring in? Because they lost so many.
They got Mandzukic up front. They got
Oh, yeah.
a left back. I can't remember his name. They still have Juan Fran. Koke. So Arda Turan was really good when he came on.
I don't know if it's the 3rd or 4th time he's done it, but like no Atletico manager has ever won 3 times in the Bernabeu, and Simeone's done it in like 2 years.
That's fucking
He's-
awesome.
But he's won 2 finals there against Madrid. Now
Yeah,
I know
I
the
think
Super
league
Copa
matches
you
or
mightn't
whatever.
call,
Yeah.
but like you know when it's Real Madrid against Atletico, it's a lot on.
What I liked about the Sky Sports lads, just like Rodriguez, he's decent, made a few runs. Like they paid about 70 million for him. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
he's
do
kind of played out
something
of position a
decent.
bit. He's been kind of playing on the
Well,
left.
they never should have
He's-
sold
he's not
Alonso.
Well, like that's the whole thing. Like you know,
When you have
only,
Bale and
only in
Ronaldo,
the
you're not
last,
playing
only
on
in the
the wing,
last
like.
2 games, would they could have had like you know an experienced holding midfielder who
Well, I
been
thought-
there. He's done it. He's won everything. You
Has
know.
Kadir been playing, or are they playing Ham and Cruz and fucking Modric in the middle again?
Pretty much that.
Oh, you see, I told you guys, and you guys told me I was out of my mind. I told you that this would never work. It was
No, well,
too
they should have
imbalanced.
sold Alonso. But I could see them kind of not edging him out a bit. But
I
could
just
see
think
them-
it's ridiculous to think that you can play literally like the
I
only.
don't think that's the problem. I think
You
it's
can't
just,
sell him to Bayern anyway. Like.
Pep was like, I'll take him. Thank you.
Of course.
Like, and for 6 million as well. So
Okay.
Ronaldo dived for a penalty, by the way. Thiago.
It was definitely a penalty.
was
He definitely made a bit out of it, but it was definitely a penalty.
He kind of dived into it.
It's exactly what Senderos did to Balotelli.
Oh,
It's just
boy.
because Ronaldo had a bit of a fall down that people were like, oh, what a dive, what a
Well,
bastard.
that was a red card.
Yeah, I know, but it's the exact kick out. Like
I wasn't really.
Ronaldo was
kicked
past him and he kicked out at him, and Ronaldo's
Yeah, I
like,
know.
I'll take that. I'll
out.
fall
And
down
then
now.
Thiago opened the scoring, and Arda Turan would have.
Yeah, it was a great goal.
Lovely dummy was it
I
by?
couldn't believe it.
Was
I
it Gabby
honestly-
with the dummy?
Yeah.
Me and you was streaming it in the end. We're like, well, let it go 2-1 up. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
big
insane.
problems for Madrid. Big
How
problems.
are Bayern doing domestically? They're winning everything, I presume.
Yeah, they just win every match. But
I've seen
Alonso's got man
Alonso's
of the
been
match
starting.
the last two.
He's
He's
been
man of the match.
quality.
So who's in the centre for them now?
I haven't really seen
Joe,
it.
I'm
They've
gonna
got
have a
some
look at
guy. Who's the guy they got as of Roma? Benatia?
Baps Stuper is out for the season.
Yeah, but Schipper's gone again. I feel so sorry for him. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
that
a
is-
good
that
player.
And
is
so
very
is
sad.
Giuseppe Rossi as well.
Oh, is he?
I know it's Fiorentina, but still, two players who came back from injury, they're gone.
Remember Rossi was with Man United.
Yeah, he
It was
was
weird.
top young player, and then no.
Yeah, I remember they had him and PK, and remember they had Manucho. Remember him?
Yeah, Ferguson planning for the future and went, nah,
Nah.
we'll leave this to Moyes.
Exactly. He knew in 2006.
Okay, so I'm just having a look now
I
at.
think it's Benatia. Thiago is still injured.
Thiago is still injured.
Xavi Martinez is still injured.
You guys talk amongst yourselves there.
Oh yeah, Sky.
Grand, yeah.
Alright.
I've got a yawn now to be even more. I'm talking into the mic this week.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled we haven't held it to John.
You're sounding good, John.
I'm glad. Sure, we were getting
Yeah,
our,
always sounds good
we're
when
getting
it's
our
talking
usual
mic.
complaints, and they were like, "Who was the fucker coughing into the mic last week?" And Dad was like, "That was me." It's like, and then the lads were like, "It definitely wasn't John. Could barely hear."
Yeah, I think you're sounding pretty on. Okay, here we go. I've looked at their team the last 2 weeks. I can't remember it though, but it's been pretty much the same. I know Dante's still
Do
in.
you know actually what Philip Lam, when he came out and said, this week he says, yeah, I do miss Cruz, but yeah, it's fine. We've got Alonso.
That's
He
awesome.
pretty much just said that's
If
great.
you're
Because
going to buy a replacement for 2 years, he's perfect. He's better.
Yeah, but the
actually.
whole thing is though when Alonso's gone, I think that's what Madrid should have been trying to do. Now maybe they think Cruz can do that role, which he was kind of doing it for Germany though in the World
But,
Cup,
like,
playing a bit more
Bayern have a
defensive.
decent youth team in Dortmund that they can just buy players.
Okay,
Well,
let me
Ilkay Gundogan is the next one, but he's been injured for a while.
Okay, let me give you this team here. So obviously Neuer in the back. We had Barnett replacing Alba, who's now moved into centre mid. He is there with Lam and Alonso. So that's two fullbacks that have now slotted into centre mid.
Was Alaba was left back or centre mid, was it?
Yep. And he has been the last 2 weeks. Boateng, Dante, and Batistuber. Batistuber, as John alluded to, now injured. So
Who's right back? Rafinha.
no, right back was Bernat. So,
So you just said Bernat was centre mid.
no, I said Bernat was right.
Oh, sorry.
Was taking.
Are you sure
Alba.
Bernat's not a midfielder?
I'm
This is a
positive.
good conversation.
Yes, I'm just listen to me, Dad.
Of course.
Just
Do you want to
listen,
go around that bend one more time? Or?
please?
What one? Left or right?
Yeah, so Alba has been put into centre mid. That was what I was saying.
Oh.
Him and Philip Lam. Are,
Plays there for Austria.
exactly. So, Benidia, who was signed from Roma, who's absolutely incredible.
Is he that good? Is he? I've got things about him.
Phenomenal. They gone for like 23
Where's he
million.
play?
They spent.
Or-
He's a centre back, so he's going to replace Batistuber now. And then up front we had Götze, Lewandowski, and Muller. So no,
I love Muller. I think
no
I think
room
Muller
for
is just
no
a-
room for Ribery. That is insane. And
He's a
Robin,
He's only come back from injury. Though, isn't he?
Robin is also injured, so I don't know if Robin replaces Muller or what the fuck.
No,
they
I
do.
would. I would not drop Muller from the team. He would be the first man. Of that
Yeah,
team
no,
for me.
Bayern squad right now.
And if
is-
Schweinsteiger to come back,
yeah, I'm gonna go
and,
on a limb.
and Thiago and Mandzukic.
Okay.
No, sorry, not
No,
Mandzukic.
Mandzukic gone.
Martinez. Sorry,
Martin,
it's ridiculous.
well, I'm going to go on a limb and say that I want to play a game with Bayern and Pro when we finish this podcast, and that Bayern are going to win the Champions League. Speaking of the Champions League, let's do our preview for Tuesday and Wednesday night. The first games in the group stages take place, and we've got Liverpool's return to Champions League tomorrow night. I think we all pretty much suspect that they're going to win, as Dan said, against a team he's never heard of. John, what is their fairy tale about getting into the Champions League that you alluded to earlier?
Oh, this is the famous story about they've never qualified, and the goalkeeper got sent off, and the player went in.
Didn't Shamu
Like, they're-
talk about
Ah,
this?
yes.
Yeah, and he. But he might play in goal again against because the player's still suspended. So
They actually might put him in goal.
He saved 2 penalties and then scored the winning one himself. And like,
See, I don't
who did they
think-
beat? Steaua Bucharest or something?
I don't
A
think
really
Li-
big team. Well, a big enough team.
I don't
like,
think
you know?
Liverpool are going to get out of the group stages anyway. So I'm just.
Who has he got?
What?
Who else have you got in that group? Basel or something?
I
isn't
think Basel will go through.
Yeah, we've got
They've
Basel
let-
and Madrid.
They've only got your man Sommer, the
Yeah, but-
goalie, and they've got.
Why do you think Basel will go through? This isn't like you. You're the optimist.
I am the optimist, but I don't know.
Okay.
You did say to me last year when we all kind of knew Liverpool were. Well, we kind of thought they were actually going to win the league at that stage. That like Rodgers will just be found out completely in Champions League.
He won't be found out, but I don't think any manager who's never managed in it before or any European competition is going to come and go. I'll show you how to do
Well,
it.
I think you'll get out. I think you'll finish.
I cannot wait.
I think you'll find like Bayern Munich or something in the quarterfinals and they'll beat you. That's what'll happen.
If we have a fully fit team when it comes to the Real Madrid game, I can't wait. They can tell me to work and I tell them to fuck right off.
I kind of wish you drew Barcelona though. I would just love to see Suarez go back.
No. Borussia Dortmund against Arsenal. Didn't Dortmund shellac them there a couple of Champions Leagues ago?
Well, no. They beat each other.
Oh, that's right.
Ozil actually played really well at home, but they lost that one.
Yes.
But then they went to Dortmund and got hammered. But Ramsey popped up with a goal.
That's right.
So it was kind of weird that the games that Arsenal should have won and lost were the opposite.
Kagawa had a great second day.
Kagawa, yeah.
It was
Goal
great. It was
assist.
like seeing a prisoner from war. He was fantastic. Like just back where he belongs and just.
He's
So,
a
yeah.
good-
Has
he's a good player,
Has he
he is.
taken
Ah.
Mick's place? Has he? As number 10.
No, Mick plays out on the left now.
Oh, Mick plays on the left.
So
And they've got Royce.
and
Royce
where's
injured.
Is
Injured.
Blaszczykowski still there?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and with
That'd be
Arsenal,
decent.
but think with Arsenal though, they've no right backs.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to play called Berlin or Burin or
It's
something.
almost a shame Royce is injured.
And apparently he's actually faster than Walcott. Apparently he's the fastest player at the club.
Oh, somebody recently broke Walcott's.
He broke out of a 40 meter
Yeah.
40 meter sprint. He beat Walcott by like a couple of tenths of a second. So he's actually Debussy, who did his ankle ligaments, so that could be at him for a while. And Chambers has tonsillitis, so well, he could still play, like, you know.
Juve and Madrid are in action that they will most likely win. The other competitive games tomorrow night: Monaco and Leverkusen and Olympiacos and Atletico.
Bayern City not this week as well.
That's tomorrow. I'm doing Tuesday first.
All right.
Then be the days of the week.
Olympiacos have Fulham legend Mitroglou back.
Mitroglou.
He's back.
Yeah,
12 million.
money well spent.
Did he score a goal?
I don't think so.
Did he play 90 minutes?
I don't think so. I think he was too unfit.
So they spent nearly 25 million.
Are Fulham still bottom of the championship?
They lost to Reading 3-0.
Yeah. So yes.
Blackpool, because Blackpool don't have any players. That's what they were the
Right.
reason why they're ahead of him. So Leeds are like
I thought
edging
Neil
away
had a-
from
I thought
Fulham.
Neil had a question there. He was actually
I
just.
was just kind of flashing my guns.
Seems like you're almost like Will from the In-Betweeners there. So whoop, whoop.
That was me.
Yeah.
Roma, see my second love, are also returning to Champions League actions. This is going to be a great few days for me, especially if they beat CSKA Moscow. We also have Bayern Munich against Man City being the game of the day. That's going to be an absolute cracker.
Actually, before you go on, do you see you started training for Roma this week? Tati's son.
Is that the son he had when he was 12 and he had sex with an 18-year-old model?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. The article I saw was in Italian. James Horncastle from The Guardian linked it. And
What age is he?
I don't know. He's a wee lad, I think. But still.
How
I honestly don't know. It was a photo, but like, it could have been from.
Are they going to retire at number 10?
No, they should do that thing that they did with Good Johnson when he came off or his dad came off for him in international. They should Toddy should play until his son can come on and literally take the jersey off his father's back.
Who else played fathers and sons?
Neville
can
played
think-
against Gary and Phil.
I can see
Fucking name!
Neville.
I
Apparently
forget
he's
about this.
apparently he's been up for a bit of sex offence as well.
Neville. Oh, what? That's sad.
I know Gordon and Gavin Strachan would have played in the same team.
Yeah.
Did Paul Ince and Tom Ince play? Wonder if some team.
Oh, I severely doubt it.
Stephen Gerrard plays with his son Moreno most weeks.
If you don't know what,
Johnson.
if you don't know what
Ian
John is
Wright,
alluding to,
Ian
it's
Wright
the love
and Sean
child
Wright
of
Phillips.
Steve Gerrard and Jabby
What
Alonso.
about Ian Wright and Sean Wright Phillips? Or Bradley Wright Phillips?
There you go.
I'm trying
okay.
to think. I think Gavin Strachan and Gordon Strachan are the last ones to do it in the Premier League for Coventry.
Um,
You know.
We'll talk about Bayern and City in a minute. Chelsea and Schalke, that could be interesting. Barca are playing
Shocker
Apoel.
having a shocker of a season. It's not going to be as interesting as
Okay,
you're going to make it out.
that's fine. All right, well, let's just talk about Munich and City then. That's the game of Wednesday. What do we think is going to happen?
Pellegrini and Zabaleta aren't allowed. Pellegrini. They both got bans whenever City got eliminated last year for
Against Barcelona.
for kicking up a bit of a fuss. So
Remember Pellegrini had a goal because it was a goal they should have got the last minute, but it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. The referee had a shocker. Like I remember he didn't give a penalty to each team or something. It was just like he had a bad game overall. Like there's nothing to complain. And even if they had scored,
it'll be interesting because I think City are more. They're like. It's hard, I don't know. They lost to Stoke, but this Bayern team just looks terrifying. It'll be interesting to see how they play.
It's in Munich. They'll kill them, lads. They're going to kill them.
Did you see them?
City,
the match
City
last
beat
year?
them. City beat them last year in Bayern.
Yeah.
They played each other the last 2 years, haven't
But
they?
we just talked about this Bayern squad. I don't.
They were good last year.
But City have Frank Lampard.
That's right. By the way, do you think this Frank Lampard being past it? Do you think this was just him kind of maybe getting his chops back up for Premier League action, or is he just gone?
I think City played a 2-man midfield against a 3-man midfield.
A 3-man energetic midfield.
And Lampard was like, right, I'm getting sent off here. And Pellegrini took him off at that time.
Okay. All right. I can't wait to review Champions League next week. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, this brings us to our awards, and we'll be talking about the fantasy football as well. Do you have the fantasy football code on you?
No.
Oh, jeez, you see.
Yeah, but you see, I've been at work all day.
Can I get the code off the website? Is that possible?
I'd have to log in.
You'd have to. This is a shim sham.
We're doing fancy first, are we?
No, we'll do the awards first. I like finishing with fantasy. So, Spoofair of the week. I know, John, you have a very viable nominee. If anybody has seen the video, please, for those who haven't, explain.
Well, basically, I don't know if it was a match. I think it was a match. And anyway, all the fans go outside the new camp and wave all their idols in. And Thomas Vermaelen comes in. All the fans are like, yeah! And he has to... He has to do the sharp corner. And the fans are like, yeah! And then
he just kept going
and
on.
then he does a bit of an Austin Powers and just cannot get out. And then the fans stop going, yeah! And they're more like, come on, you can come towards. You're close, you got space. No, back. And
it was very funny.
He can't drive very well. And just the fact that when you lose, he lost the fans in this good 3-minute clip.
No, well, to be fair, they actually kept going and trying to help him and going, stop, reverse. And then they actually, they gave him a massive round of applause when he got in. And he kept, like, blaming the gates were too close to his car and everything. He's like, pal, you're driving
in
the
fairness,
car.
it was a pretty...
Let me tell you from experience, right? I rehearse on Dame Lane, just off Exchequer Street, and it's a very, very tight one-way road. But for some reason, it's got street parking on either side of it, and it's fucking horrific. And when I dread having to drive in, and the odd time I'll drive in, and one of the lads in the band will be outside the door having a smoke, and when I know that they're going to be watching me trying to parallel park, I fucking... Like, it's like when you were a kid and somebody asked you, can you do a red?
I can imagine Adam finding it hilarious.
Oh, it's just so... And so the idea of joining a new club, I guess statistically over the last 5 years, the best club in the world, and having this kind of introduction with the fans, I have a lot of sympathy for Thomas Vermaelen, but at the same time, I enjoy laughing at people, and I'd be happy if that was Spoofer of the Week officially this week.
Absolutely.
Would you go with that, Dan?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely fair, all right.
Or Alan Pardew's also has to be worth a minute. We'll probably save it for when he's sacked, but he's not a...
But like the thing about Ashley, he probably won't even sack him because he's just a yes man, like, you know.
Or Gary Lineker for that ridiculous goatee.
Gary Lineker has a goatee?
Has he?
Yeah.
I didn't see much of it.
Why are we talking about football if you guys don't watch much of the day?
I was really busy this week.
I watch it online on YouTube and read stuff.
I read stuff. Okay, Hero of the Week. Do we have one?
I had Totti's son, but I told that story already.
I think Toddy's son's a pretty good one. I'm
I've
trying to
no
think
one
off the
else.
top of my noggin. Who do I have? I could also perhaps maybe nominate the recently brought to my attention goatee of Gary Lineker. I'm gonna get a picture of this.
Recently saw a clip on YouTube of Emil Heskey playing Buckaroo, but the horse has Brendan Rodgers' face. And he has to put all the signings on it before Brendan flips out. It's a game I'd buy.
Can I go back? Can I go back to Spoofer of the Week? I'm going to give it to the FIFA 15 demo.
You don't like it?
What's wrong?
I thought it was the most dreary, dull-looking, horrible thing I've ever played.
I thought it was grand.
Did
Like
you
again,
grand?
but again, it's not the finished article, so like, you know.
I enjoyed it, to be honest.
I found it hard to score. Like.
It was.
I thought it was
loads of
tough.
scoring.
I had 2 games. Of
I'm
it.
terrible
No,
at all the demos.
3 games. I won 2-0 and 1-1, 2-0 and 1, and I lost 1-0 and 1, and I drew 1-1 and 1.
I did the park the bus tactic against Chelsea and scored in the last minute with Sturridge, and I just had a fantasy that we did it last year instead of Jared slipping. I slept well that night.
Yeah, here's another one as well, which I found interesting. The Man United fans singing about Gerrard slipping thing.
Everyone does.
Everyone does, yeah.
Everyone does now.
Yeah.
It's like a communal Premier League chant.
It's like a Mexican wave.
Yeah.
It's just, it's going to be... Unless he wins one.
I know a hero of the week. It's for his Collins, but not him. I don't like him. Harry Redknapp, what he said about the Man United fans. They had to, the QPR, obviously they're from London, they flew up or got a train up or something to Manchester for the match, and then they were told they weren't able to get a train or a flight back or something because there was so many Man United fans going back to London. Is the reason why they couldn't get it. There was like 40,000 Man United fans going back to London.
That's a good, but I refuse to give anything to Harry.
No, I refuse as well, but I just think it's an honourable mention that there's 40,000. It's actually called 40,000 Man United fans are spoofers. Supporting a team when they live like 100 miles away. 200 miles away.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And that's 2 Liverpool fans and a Leeds fan.
No, hold on though. Could these Man United fans just be people who happen to live in London?
Or work there?
Most Man United fans live in Ireland, London, or China. They don't.
The most of anything lives in China.
At least three quarters.
This again is
of
very dubious
Manchester
stat.
This is a lie.
Is Man City?
That's a lie. That's a classic story from way back when.
That's a pre-internet rumor.
Oh, Everton are Catholics and Liverpool are Protestant. No, Liverpool are Catholics because they bought Kenny Dalglish. Rangers are Protestant. It's all fucking madness. Scottish independence. Let's talk about that.
How's it going? When's the referendum?
Thursday. It's very close. I don't know if it'll happen.
It's like 51-49, I think, wasn't it?
Alex Ferguson is against it, so yeah.
So if he's against it, you say yes.
Oh, I'm against it completely.
Well, he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, they'll be crippled. I think they'll be fucked if they don't do it. I think that it's a lot of people just like getting like really patriotic and not realizing that they'll be economically drained. I do understand why they don't like it though. They literally elect like 10 people to Parliament. But the way it goes through the system, they only have like a couple of people that actually represent.
But are they still allowed?
Actually, my spoof for the week, he was asked on, I think it was BBC News, and he was like, "What are you voting for in Scottish independence?" And he was like, "Well, I was gonna say yes, but then I thought I might not get Match of the Day anymore, so I'm gonna vote no."
Surely BBC Scotland do Match of the Day.
We get Match of the Day.
Yeah, like on BBC Northern Ireland, no less. Did I ever tell you about the guy Scully, the guy I met, Sean's Scottish relative?
Oh, this guy. Oh, you told me about this one. Is this the army man or something?
No, well, close. Okay, so what was right? It was the first England game of the World Cup, and for those of you who don't know, I was supporting England because I support Steve Gerrard in all of his endeavours, including his restaurant.
Have you stopped supporting England now?
Technically,
if that's your logic.
Yeah, technically, I have support. Yeah, I can say I have stopped supporting England. Although I might revisit it if the Liverpool influence is still there.
I still support England. Roy Hodgson vines are brilliant.
Yeah, well, I support Roy Hodgson in that respect.
I can't say those words.
So what happened was, I was about to go to this party, and I got a phone call from Sean, and he said, a lot of my Scottish relatives are here, and I was like, all right, and he said, but that jersey. And I was kind of like thinking to myself, England aren't going to do very well. I've spent this money on this jersey, right? I have to give it a good airing.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I have to do it. And I'm sure nothing will happen. And he was at me saying, well, I'm just warning you. Now, I didn't think anything of it. And when I arrived there, his brother brought me over to the corner and said, you see your man in there. And I'm probably getting his name wrong, but he gave me his real name. He said he's also known as Scully. Or something along those lines. I go, really? And he goes, yeah, you'll be able to identify that by the prison tattoo he has on his arm. And I was like, right. And he told me a story that this man was in the Bahamas and saw a British army vessel parked.
Sorry, actually, you should just ask him what he actually thinks he tries to do here.
Up in the bay, and he decided to fight it. He tried to fight a British army ship. This is the kind of man we're dealing with here. Heavy stuff. So anyways, the night went on, gradually, we were having a sing-song, we were having a great old time. I had a zippy over my England jersey. I started to, take it down a few notches every now and again. Didn't really get too many bad looks. We had a lovely time. And on the way out, he came over to us, kind of looked at the jersey, not a bother on him. And he said to us, lads, great night, lads, don't forget, vote yes. And walked away. This man thought that we could vote in the Scottish independence referendum. And you know what? I take it back. If I could, I would vote yes. Because I've been asked to by a very, very nice, intimidating Scotchman.
Was it his name Rory McAllister? Or Robbie?
No, it wasn't. Get close to the mic there, Dan. We're losing you.
Doing a John in it.
Okay.
Do I cough into the mic? Is that what
goal of the week, what do we have?
go through. some
Menezes
results.
for AC Milan.
Oh,
yesterday.
Menez, yeah, there we go. And also that match was what 6-5, 5-4 or something.
Yeah, the
And
referee took a bit of money
Diego
for that.
Lopez, that's another spoof for the week after his howler. Did you see what he did? But pass back.
Oh, I did. It was great.
Pass
actually.
back to him and literally goes to stop it. And it goes
Nobody
under his
leaves
foot.
Real Madrid as well. Torres didn't even play. It's devastating. Injured.
Did he? Where was Mendes only brought to AC Milan this year?
No, he's been there for a while.
Has he?
I thought he only went this year. I thought he was at Paris Saint-Germain last year.
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
I don't know.
he? I thought he was. I thought he was
No,
a
he
decent
was at
player.
Paris Saint-Germain 2 seasons ago, but not last season.
Maybe he did go there.
Okay, that's an
I always
interesting
thought he
one.
was a decent player.
So did I. Fast. He's French, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So, fantasy standings. Here we go.
You're gonna love it. I have
Well,
the table here.
there's one thing I do love, and that's the fact I'm not last, because Seamus is. So
Oh,
coming
really?
in, coming
Yeah.
in, coming in, I love this feud they have. Coming in at 10, Swimmers Hoops, Seamus there on 144 points. Myself coming in at 191 in 9th. 8th place we have John. Jeez.
Played me wildcard this week. Didn't Captain Balotelli. Me heart got me over
Let's
me.
see who you have here. I'm gonna look here in the old app and see. You
195.
have Di Maria,
Yeah,
and you've Costa,
and
and
Fabregas.
Cesc.
Wow.
And you Terry got your -1,
Yeah, and I had company as well.
and you have Sissoko on the
It's
bench.
actually it's kind of incredible that 3 of the 4 hosts on this show are coming last.
Thank God we have Dan. Actually, that's one of the guys I was playing football with. He was like, I can't believe we have to go record the podcast now. I was like, yeah. It's like, is he listening to it? He's like, no. But surely is Dan the only one there with an actual like opinions on football? I was like, yeah.
Who said that?
Shane.
Shane.
So if he's listening, there's a shout out for you.
I was talking to him. He actually said he enjoyed it. I was met him there in Sam's and.
No, he was lying.
Sorry.
I have a tremendous opinion on the fact that Enda here, who was supposed to be on the show tonight, couldn't get a mic set up for him. He's spoiling to get on the show.
He is,
Do you
yeah.
know what he has to say? Why does he want to come on so
I think
badly?
he just wants to call Barcelona slime and slag me.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
It's not my job.
We have the great Barcelona showdown when Enda's
Barcelona
on the show next
So he
lose-
week.
came in the other night. He's like, how are you? And I haven't seen him in a few months. Like, not too bad yet. It's like, slime around inside. It's like, no watching that. It's like, it's only Ronaldo diving. Right, Grant, go in. It's just
Sorry, Tommy Abnormal is there coming 7th with 200 points. Love you, Tommy. I really do. He's a great guy. We've got Gary Kiernan on
Who's he?
200.
Who's Gary here?
Who is Gary? No,
Can we get t-shirts made with that?
Who's scared? Get that trending on Twitter.
If we turn up to my stag with Who's Gary Kieran t-shirts, I will regret ever saying anything. I do. Coming 4th place, we have Rob Normal with 221 points. We have Ronan O'Reilly coming in. Who's Ronan O'Reilly?
Who is Ronan
You
O'Reilly?
asked this last week. His new fan.
Oh yeah, Ronan, keep supporting the show, keep listening, big fan of yourself. With 222, only 1 point separating Ronan and 2nd place.
With
Dave
Natton.
John's too cool for school here. With 223, and in the lead, we're a whopping 7 points on Dave Nocton.
And my 8 points haven't been added yet for Duff.
Okay,
There you go.
230.
Dan is celebrating because if I'm sure all the listeners remember, this is the end of our fantasy season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it ends in mid-September. As soon as Champions League starts, we'll just be wrapping up the league. Well, to be fair, I did have Costa as captain, and he could have saved me. So
All right. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. Did you get good feedback for the Pro Evo show? People really enjoyed that one.
yes,
Yeah,
it
we
seemed
should
very well.
probably stop talking
Did
about
you-
real football.
Periscopes followed us on Twitter, so shout out to them.
Hold on, who tweeted Cohen to me with that picture?
That was me.
Did they get it back?
No.
Fuck you.
I think we
you
should-
fucking. Sorry.
I think we should get back to them again.
We will when. I actually tweeted a lot of people.
You tweeted loads. You tweeted True Geordie. I saw
Yeah.
that.
I just went nuts. I had a few drinks. Now.
Yeah,
I
so
fucked
you
this, and I
finally
get this-
realised how to spell our password.
Yeah.
Like the
I
password.
think I just refused. My fingertips wouldn't allow such of a slime password.
Be careful now, don't get the same hacked.
I don't really care. Couldn't.
How would people feel about maybe doing a little competition this Saturday after the Liverpool game? We can do like a community, maybe play each
Pro eight.
other. Play each other 2 times each, home and away.
Mm.
Okay.
Pro 8.
Yeah. Maybe Pro 8. Maybe we can do it on like this Pro. We'll just do an online table or something. We'll figure it out. Yeah, that'll be coming at you next week. Are you guys excited about recording the wrestling podcast tomorrow?
I am. very much so.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
different.
pretty
And I
excited.
finally don't have to write the script for it as well, so I can kind of come in and go, tell me what to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be very, very interesting. These guys are filling in for Ken on the other podcast that I do, the This Ain't Fake Pro Wrestling podcast. So make sure to watch Raw tonight. Stay up nice and late. Write notes on your arm.
I'm not in work till 2:15, so I'll be doing that.
Nice. Oh, well, in that case, we're going to get the show pretty quickly.
I will. If you send it
shortly.
to me when I get home, I'll have this up
It'll
first thing in the
be
morning.
with you during Raw, so just upload it.
Grant, yeah, upload and go to sleep.
Okay, great stuff. Enough talking shop. Any last words, John?
Yeah, my gig last night got cancelled because nobody came. So cheers, fuckers.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what the hell were you doing? 'Cause I thought it's like, I have a gig. It's like, no, I don't.
Brought some friends along, had a few drinks with them, and then yeah, it was great. 9 people
So
there.
it's like literally like the old Après match clip was like Banger nil,
It was great.
Ventura nil. That match was abandoned with
See,
no one showing up.
I do a crowd of 3 people, but it was like 4 couples, and I was like, I can't exactly go up there and talk about the stuff I need to talk
Well,
about.
Was there
like-
not any other comics on?
There was loads, but like they're not pushed it out. Like.
I didn't
You get
see-
terrified before doing stand up, so you'd never be
Yeah.
like.
You know what we should have done? We
I'm
should
not-
have
I'm never excited.
gone for a pint and then just not see him.
You know,
what we
happened-
should
That's happened. Never actually.
We'll tell that story again. You know, the thing is, John, I didn't see anything yesterday about it on Facebook, and if I had, I would have gone.
Share things 2 times a week. Like you're lucky to get a share of this podcast. I occasionally forget to do it.
Okay, and on that note, thanks very much for listening, everybody. We will be back tomorrow if you want, if you're of a pro wrestling disposition. The first ever, and perhaps only ever, because Kenny is a very reliant man, but he's actually going over to see Liverpool on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So maybe
It's
we'll do a little swap. We'll get Kenny on the line maybe next week to give a live perspective.
It's actually well worth a listen because I watched wrestling with most people back in the day, and then took a good break from it, and now I'm getting back into it. So I have that massive gap.
yeah,
of
we
nothing.
fill in the gaps, and so it'll be really interesting.
I'm actually
to-
looking forward to Raw as well.
Yeah, it'd be great having the go home show night
No,
champions.
Champions preview as well.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah,
let's
no.
wrap this up because we get in trouble when it's not an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have a preview Night Champions, Monday Night Raw podcast, and wrestling general news tomorrow on This Ain't Fake. You can catch that at thisaintfake.com, and of course you can catch this show wherever you've caught it, because if you hadn't, you won't be listening to my voice right now. On behalf of Dan and John, or Don as I like to call them, this has been the ITK Soccer Show, and we'll be with you same time next week.